Hey guys, this is Joe. Today I want to introduce you to our partner Vanta. Achieving ISO 27001 or SOC 2 compliance can unlock major growth for your company and build customer trust, but the process can be time intense and costly. Vanta automates compliance, getting your audit ready quickly and saving up to 85% of associated costs. And Vanta scales with your business, helping you enter new markets. Join 7,000 global companies like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Quora that trust Vanta. Claim 20% off Vanta at vanta.com/startup-radio. That's vanta.com, spelled vanta.com/startup-radio.
Welcome to Startuprad.io, your podcast and YouTube blog covering the German startup scene with news, interviews, and live events.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Joe from Startuprad.io, your startup podcast and YouTube blog from the German-speaking area, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, as well as the founder of the world's tech entrepreneurship radio called Startup.radio. Today we have another interview in our series with Invest-in-Hessen, of course, sponsored by Invest-in-Hessen, and I would like to welcome a guest back again. Hey, Rafael, how you doing?
Hi, Joe. Yeah, I'm fine. All good.
That is great. Actually, we just talked before the recording. You have been in our interview and we published the interview. Of course, we will link it down here in the show notes. In August, mid of August 2019. So it was almost exactly 3 years ago. And
That's
you
true.
guys are still going strong. Congratulations for that. And today we are talking because you guys announced earlier this year that you raised a 5.5 million Series A funding. But before we get into that, let us first talk a little bit about you and ComPredict, and everybody who's watching this on YouTube. He sees behind you the two cars with the ComPredict logo and writings on it. So they can already guess you're somehow related to cars, right?
Yes, that's true. So we specialize on virtual sensors for cars.
Virtual sensors. Is it something you only attempt to plug in, or how does it work?
Yeah, so I can explain. So of course everybody knows what a hardware sensor is. So a hardware sensor measures a physical quantity. In vehicles, there are many hardware sensors which measure different physical quantities, like the wheel speeds or accelerations or temperatures or other physical quantities. A virtual sensor takes the values from the hardware sensors and fuse them together to generate additional physical quantities. And it can act, for instance, it can measure the forces between the tire and the road. This is a virtual sensor we have. We have another virtual sensor which can measure the current vehicle mass or temperatures in the battery pack of certain cells. We have virtual sensors for that. So there are many different use cases for our virtual sensors.
I'm not a technical guy and I don't have a PhD in engineering like you do. But for me, it sounds like it's an additional calculation and analytics layer on top of the physical sensors. Would that be appropriate?
Yes, that's true. That sums it up pretty well, yeah.
That sounds really fancy. And actually, what can you do with that?
So yeah, as I said, you can enhance the data which is available in the car. So you can calculate additional values like forces between the tire and the road, or temperatures in the battery pack, or something like that. Or you can even replace existing hardware sensors. So a simple example would be every car on the market right now has 4 sensors to measure the wheel speed. So they measure the wheel speed of each individual wheel. Do you need 4? With our virtual sensors, you can maybe replace 2 hardware sensors and save money at the end of the day.
I see. And when we've talked like years ago, really years ago, I remember that you also did some work for development of new cars so that you can virtually test parts. Is that still what you're going for?
Yes, that's still a part of our whole software solution. So this is rather a small market, but also a market we provide a solution for. So you have to imagine automotive companies, they have a lot of development cars, and they put a lot of additional sensors to measure forces, torques, temperatures of which act on components and damage them. They put a lot of additional hardware sensors in the vehicles, and these sensors are very expensive. So they just can have a few vehicles with these additional sensors. And with our virtual sensors, it's possible to have a whole fleet of development vehicles where they can measure these important values. So this is also a solution we provide for development cars. And they use the data to then design the components and, for instance, if they are over-designed, make them lighter. If they're under-designed, make them stronger so that they don't fail when the car is delivered to the customers.
That sounds very much like you're very early in the lifespan of a new car model, meaning in the development. Are you really put into the serial production of cars?
Yes. So for us, the development and the serial production of vehicles are very much connected. So during the development phase, there is a lot of interesting data for us to train our virtual sensors. So we use a lot of data from the development phase of the vehicles to train our virtual sensors. And then we can easily deploy our virtual sensors into series production cars. This has also to do with our new investor, BlackBerry. Maybe I can talk about that a little bit. So in our recent funding round, which was around 2 months ago, we have two new investors. For once, a financial investor, a VC, Vector Partners, and a strategic investor, which is BlackBerry. I guess everybody knows BlackBerry from the smartphones which they used to produce 10 years ago, or even longer ago. They don't do it anymore. What they do now is they have QNX, which is a real-time operating system which runs in vehicles. And they also have the Ivy platform, which is a platform for vehicle data, where you can easily access vehicle data in the cloud. And it's also easy to embed software modules into vehicles. And this is what we do for the virtual sensors. So once we have trained our virtual sensors with the development vehicles, for instance, we can easily, through the Ivy platform, deploy them into a lot of series production vehicles, which can run BlackBerry QNX, but can also run other operating systems like automotive-grade Linux.
Mm-hmm. You've been already going into the most recent investment round, but since we talked, you actually did an extension of a seed round and the Series A. Can you talk a little bit about that before we dive a little bit into how it was during the current market conditions to go out and do some fundraising?
Yes, of course. So we were, I would say it's a combination of luck and skill, of course. Yeah. So we closed our extension of the seed round in March 2020. So when COVID hit and everything, so the market conditions at this time in March 2020 were challenging as well. So it speaks quite well about us that we were able to close that extension of the seed round. Michelin was our lead investor, so the tire manufacturer Michelin was our lead investor there. We of course work together on tire topics with them. Yeah, and this helped us to manage the COVID crisis, because as you can imagine, everybody was scared and 2020 was rather tough for us. So we couldn't grow, but in 2021 we again grew strongly, which brought us into the position to raise our Series A right now. The market conditions are tougher than they were mid of 2021. Of course, everybody knows that. But I think we have a strong product. We have a strong traction with our customers. That's why we were able to raise our Series A.
Series A usually means you're past $1 million annual recurring revenue. I was wondering, do you see an impact in terms of the valuation you've gotten or the money you've gotten that may have been 10, 20, 30% higher before the current downturn of the private markets?
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to speculate about that. I would say, because you cannot do it like an A/B testing. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to
There's
speculate.
the engineer speaking. You cannot do an A/B testing here.
Yeah. But yeah, we're happy with our financing round. We're very happy with our new investors. As I said, BlackBerry with the Ivy platform really can help us to bring our virtual sensors with one mouse click to a lot of vehicles. So this is basically the idea. Can add another virtual sensor to a vehicle with one mouse click.
I see. And for everybody who's listening out there or watching this, do you have a few tips for fundraising right now in the downturn of 2022? So, I mean, summer is usually not that busy in terms of making pitches, but fall and winter are. I'm sure there will be a lot of people going out there pitching, a lot of investors, and they'll always hear, it's not as good as it used to be. Do you have some tips how to approach it? Just pitch more investors, be more focused on your KPIs, on your profitability. What would be your recommendation?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you have to keep in mind that under these market conditions, it'll take longer than you expect to close the financing round. So in this case, cash management is key because you have to plan some extra months before the cash runs out. So you'll be able to negotiate correctly with the investors and get a good deal. So looking at cash, managing the burn rate. I guess this is the main tip from my side.
Mm-hmm. I see. Usually we have a few more questions. One of them would be, you guys are now pretty well funded. First question is, how long do you expect under the current condition your funding should last?
So we always plan with that the funding lasts around 2 years. So in this year and the next year, we want to grow strongly, develop our product, take the next steps there, and we always plan that the funding should last at least 2 years, and then depending on the current market conditions, we manage our cash burn so that we can comfortably negotiate with investors and talk to investors.
And of course, the second usual question is, you just fundraised. Are you currently hiring?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So we are around 30 people right now. We will hire at least 5 to 10 more people till the end of the year. So yeah, we want to grow our team strongly. We have a lot of open positions. Yeah, do check our LinkedIn out. Do check out our homepage. There are a lot of open positions. Yeah, and we looking for strong team members.
Down here in the show notes, your website where you can find the career page. One more question, because we do have a very international audience. In the first half of 2022, we've been heard in over 100 countries. Will you also be open to completely remote jobs?
Yes. Completely remote. Of course, in Germany, this is no problem. Everybody knows that there is also some implications regarding tax laws you have to be aware of. Yeah, but we, for instance, have an employee who works out of Paris. So EU is of course a little bit easier, and after that we have to see. Yeah, but in Germany is no problem. EU, yeah, we have to talk about it, and all the rest of the world, yeah, we have to see.
I see. So what are your plans besides hiring people? Conquer the world?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every startup wants to basically conquer the world with their product. Maybe a good measure to and a good goal for us is BlackBerry QNX runs right now in more than 200 million vehicles. Yeah, and our goal for the next couple of years is to have virtual sensors in a major part of the 200 million vehicles, and also with vehicles who don't run QNX, run some other operating system, have virtual sensors there.
Okay, I see. So somewhere around 200 million cars are your goal. Okay. Thumbs pressed for that.
Thank you.
And of course, we've been talking, your money will last 2 years. Opportunistically, you may go out. Are you currently open to talk to additional investors, to new investors?
Yeah. So after the financing round is before the financing round. So we maybe what we did slightly wrong the last time is we basically after our financing round in March 2020, we didn't talk to investors till late 2021, which was a mistake in hindsight. So of course we open to talk to investors even right now, shortly after our financing round.
Another very good repeating recommendation: always talk to investors, stay in touch with them. Don't let the conversation die down, because you will regret it when you're next time in fundraising mode. Of course, the last question, because this is here about Frankfurt and the Rhine-Main area. How good did it do for you? What was important here actually as a location for you guys as a startup?
Yeah, so we are located in Darmstadt, which is around 30 kilometers south of Frankfurt. The Technical University in Darmstadt really supports founders, and which is really great for us. We received much needed support from them in the beginning. Also, it's great for us. We hired a lot of people directly out of the TU Darmstadt. So we have done some master thesis, and then hired people who have wrote that master thesis. And Rhine-Main area is great for us, especially we are international startup. We have customers all over the world. If you want to travel, there's basically no better place in Germany than Frankfurt.
Getting a little bit to the last question here. This is heard and seen across the government here in the state and city and so on. And would there be something you would like to address to those political decision makers right now that is, as we say in Germany, burning under your fingernails? Some questions, some requests you would have for them?
This is a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we are asking.
Yeah, this is. I have to think about it. Yeah, of course, there can always be more support. There also regulation regarding virtual stock option programs for employees. I guess this is still too complicated. So this this is a big topic which should be addressed and made easier, because for a startup which grows strongly, it is really strategically important to have employees participate in the success. And right now, this is kind of hard regarding all the regulations that exist.
Mm-hmm. I see. Rafael, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. This time it was a little bit shorter, but it was more or less an update on the other interview. And if you throw both of them together, I do believe you get an interview of something like close to an hour, which should be more than sufficient to learn about ComPredict and you guys. Congratulations to your fundraising again, and hopefully hear you back in 2 years when we talk about your Series B fundraising.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you, Joe.
Thank you to Invest-in-Hessen for sponsoring this interview. Be back pretty soon with another interview. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's all, folks. Find more news, streams, events, and interviews at www.Startuprad.io. Remember, sharing is caring.